Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hope you're doing well. We're continuing our reading of Tafseer As Sa'di. We are in volume 1. Let's begin. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We are in Surah Al-Baqarah, picking up on ayat number 260. Let's begin. Bismillah. When Ibrahim said, "Show me, O Lord, how will you raise the dead?" He replied, "Do you not believe then?" Ibrahim said, "Yes, of course, but just to reassure my heart." Allah said, "So take 4 birds and cut their bodies into pieces, then place a piece of each of them on each hill. Then call them. They will come swiftly to you. Know that Allah is Almighty, most wise." Okay, now we're going to read what the scholar says. This is also tangible evidence of the power of Allah and how He will bring the dead back to life in order to requite them. Allah Azza tells us that His close friend Ibrahim asked Him to show him, before his own eyes, how He would bring the dead back to life. He was certain of that, because Allah Azza had told him of it, but he wanted to see it with his own eyes, so that he might attain the certainty of seeing it with his own eyes. So here you see an interesting relationship between Ibrahim, peace be upon him, and Allah Azza, because a request was made and was granted. And being able to have a dialogue, that's remarkable. You can see the specialness in that. Hence Allah said to him, "Do you not believe then?" Ibrahim said, "Yes, of course, but just to reassure my heart. Seeing is believing." That was because seeing further certain evidence is one of the things by which faith increases and certainty becomes complete. So, for us, we don't get to demand such a thing, but there are lots of ways to become certain, and one of them is through gaining knowledge. This is what those who want to draw closer to Allah try to attain. So his Lord said to him, "So take 4 birds and cut their bodies into pieces. Then place a piece of each of them on each hill. That is, cut them into pieces. Mix the parts and place on each a hill. Mix the parts and place on each hill of some hills that were nearby one of those pieces." So, things that are separated, scattered, and then whoosh, coming together. It's quite remarkable. If you think about how freaky that would also be, you also notice how Ibrahim had to keep his wits about him. Because if I saw something like that, I think my brain would freak out. Then call them. They will come swiftly to you. That is, they will be brought back to life in a complete sense. So their consciousness will be there too. They won't just be some zombie animated corpse. Some animated carcass. But no, they're back to being normal. So Ibrahim, may Allah be peace with him, did that. And what he wanted happened. This is part of Allah's mighty dominion over the heavens and the earth, which He showed him. As He says, "Thus we gave Ibrahim an insight into Allah's mighty dominion over the heavens and the earth, so that he might be one of those who have certain faith." Al-An'am 6:75. So once you witness something like that, clearly your faith is going to be super bonded. But there are signs all over for us. We may not be able to see something like that, but if you pause and just look at your surroundings, oftentimes you can see much that goes unnoticed. Know that Allah is mighty, most wise. That is, He has great power by which He has subjugated all created things. So here we see He has subjugated all created things. Nothing is going to be able to defy His will. Nothing is going to be able to do the opposite of what Allah permits. So nothing is outside of His control. Rather, everything submits to His might and majesty. Nevertheless, His actions are in accordance with His wisdom, and he does not do anything for no purpose. So here another angle, in accordance with his wisdom, not our wisdom. Sometimes we can see, like, why is an animal or a fish doing something? Why is a tree growing this way? Some things we can't figure out, but we try. And so when it comes to the decisions that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes, it's important for us to recognize we won't understand everything. But that takes a bit of humbleness. Weird thing about some atheists is they'll say how superior humans are and how we're gonna go live on other planets. Then they also talk about how humans are not that and not something special. They really struggle with how they view human consciousness. They reduce us down to animals, but at the same time claim that we animals deserve to travel in space. It's really odd. They say that people are wrong for thinking there's God, but then they look to bonobos and chimps and say, those are our brothers and sisters, and we come from them, and we need to act like them. Or they do very strange comparisons with apes. It's really quite strange. And so here, he does not do anything for no purpose. So, right there, atheists tell you your life doesn't have purpose. They can't say your life has purpose, because what is purpose? To them, yeah, pay your taxes, go to work, maybe get a couple achievements. That's it for you. But that's for people who are successful in terms of credentialism parameters. But an atheist might look at a stay-at-home mom and be like, she has no purpose because she's not in the college, in the corporate world. What's her real purpose? And a lot of atheists start to become cynics and nihilists and pessimists. There's a lot of that right now. They're dejected. They don't know where to navigate themselves. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we know, He doesn't do anything for no purpose. And our purpose as humans was to worship Him. Earn our way into paradise. Keep going. Keep struggling. Life is a test and trial. Earth is a place of survival. Survive and try to have a decent ending. Do as much good as you can. That's your purpose. And an atheistic boss babe may think her purpose is to please her manager every day and boost the numbers, get sales. Another person might say, my purpose is to give my children the best childhood they can, and in order to do that, I need to be present. I need to have a full-time presence in their lives. Others could dedicate their lives to smaller things. Not everything has to have a grandiose purpose, right? Examining the purpose of things it's a very challenging endeavor, but people get mad when others say, everything happens for a reason. And this people will be like, what is the reason? There's things on the other side of the maze we can't see. When you're in the maze, you can't really see the middle of it, can you? Even when you make it out of the maze, you look back, you can't see where you traveled along. Your path is this way, that way, that way. The turns you took. It's interesting. But just take a pause and look at things that led up in sequences. When this happened, you went that way. When that happened, you went this way. Things might be painful, but it doesn't mean they don't have a purpose. Fear has a purpose. Suffering has a purpose. And Earth is filled with people fulfilling their purposes, and some they'll find out fully in the end, maybe, what it was. And some may die never knowing their purpose, but maybe it'll be revealed to them in the next realm. Who knows? Very insightful section. To be able to make a request of a miracle. It's pretty cool. You can see how favored Ibrahim was. So anyone who slanders him, you're making a grave mistake. And plus, we're not supposed to slander them, are we? Any of the messengers and prophets. Let me know what you think, and if you'd like to support my work, you can do so via my blog, which is www.subscribestar.com/Milahan Archive. Hope to see you there.